Hi, Scott Lackman, 4510 TV. On today's program, I wanted to give to you, the viewers, a bit of an update about commercial activity in the Caboolture region. Now, commercial property is either sales or leasings or even business sales. With me today, local agents, Warwick Peters from Richardson&Wrench and Dan Futcher, also from Richardson&Wrench Caboolture Commercial. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning, Scott.
Hey, now, we haven't been on camera with Dan before. Warwick's done it before. So let's flow into, we're currently standing at the public weighbridge, which is a business currently for sale with you, Warwick, through R&W Caboolture, in the industrial park of Corporate Park. Corporate Park. Thank you for that. Warwick, give us a quick update. You wouldn't expect a business like this to be for sale. Can you tell us about this one?
It is unique, Scott. There's only one weighbridge, public weighbridge, between Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast, and this is it. So unique. It's been going about roughly 20 years now, thereabouts, and it is now up for sale because the owner is retiring. He's had enough, and he's in his 70s, and he needs to take it easier than he's been doing in the past. Not that this is a difficult job, it is very easy. It's a wonderful property, great location on the corner of Piper and Skyreach. It's one of the few centres around here that have got an attraction just on their own in terms of the ambience of the area, the close proximity to all of the services. It is the bee's knees, if you can call it that, of any commercial centre. And this being a corner block has even more attraction. Obviously corner blocks have a great deal of visibility. That's what this has. The building on here at the moment is a small concrete building, which is the weighbridge, has an overhang, and it has obviously a facility to weigh the vehicles, and that's the income for the premises. The other side of it is the Queensland Transport, who lease it on a basis of brake checking. All brake inspections on trucks, unlike cars, the brake inspections are done by Queensland Transport, but if you took your vehicle down for a vehicle inspection, it'd be done by a local service centre. At the moment, Queensland Transport are in the throes of changing that and getting private certifiers. So anyone looking to buy this type of business would have perhaps private certifiers operating from here on a leaseback basis. They could have the weighbridge, which generates a very, very good income, and I won't go into details about that, but very, very substantial income. And down the back of the building, on the right-hand corner as we stand, is an area of some 700 square metres, of which 350 can be converted into and has been DA approved for a large shed, which in turn flows on from the brake inspections. If anyone wanted to buy this property, they would get the brake vehicles obviously repaired and done over there. So you've got good leaseback facility, you've got two other areas of business generating income, a great investment at $930,000 as we have it on the website. Anyone that would like to inquire further can just pursue that, make an inquiry through me or through R&W website itself.
Right, spot on. Obviously an example of one of the many businesses you've got listed for sale. Let's go to Dan. Dan's a leasing expert in the local area, had lots of success with leasing properties. Let's talk about that leasing market in Caboolture at the moment. Plenty of sheds available, plenty of shops, retail space. What's on the books, Dan?
Oh, we've got everything from sort of small 60 square metre industrial stuff right up to 700-800 sort of square metre retail, and prices vary depending on the location and the age of the building and that sort of thing. Things are very keen, and landlords are willing to deal at the moment pretty well, so they're wanting their buildings full, and it has really been picking up. Inquiry's really been increasing fairly steadily for the last 12 to 18 months. Yeah. Very much so.
I'm glad you said that. There is incentive from a landlord's point of view. It's a false economy. It's no good having an empty shed. It's best to have a business in there, and maybe if the landlord could dangle a carrot and maybe a free rent period to get established. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, that often happens, because what you find is if you've got a complex that's got a couple of vacancies, other people tend to stay away. So what they'll do, especially on the larger leasing spaces, that the owners will offer those incentives to get the places full, and it generates interest and activity in the complex itself.
Excellent. Warwick, on the sales side of things, there's still a lot of industrial land we know in the greater Caboolture region, and that's for potential future growth. What's the next, say, 12 months looking forward into 2015? How do you see the trends of commercial? Are you going to see more building?
I think we'll see, at the same rate it's been building at the moment, depends on the availability of land, but there is a surplus of buildings at the moment which are already established, which are looking for better quality leasing. There's been a lot of short-term leasing going through. I think that will fill up first, and we'll change the leasing from lesser quality to better quality, which will then occupy those. Then once that better quality has then taken up all the availability, it will flow out to people looking for better premises outside of the current building zones. In other words, they'll be going down to Burpengary, Narangba, other areas of Caboolture, over the Palmerston Road area where there is opportunity to build some larger sheds, put in the quality tenants. That will drive it. At the moment, unless you get quality tenants, you're not going to drive a great deal of building, because obviously your tenants are going to be of the, well, let's just say part-time as opposed to decent long-term. So that's what's going to drive it, and that's where it's going to end up. But yes, it's moving towards that positive future.
And Dan, would you agree, looking forward over the next 12 months, there are those opportunities for the retail and leasing spaces. What would your advice be to perhaps a smaller business and maybe started operating from home and they're wanting to break out into a shop space? Would you encourage that?
Oh, most certainly, because there's deals to be done, as we were talking about the incentives. Then that's there now, and as things do increase and things snowball, then those prices are only going to go up. So it's a good time to get in ground floor, if you like, as it is now.
Excellent. Gentlemen, a commercial update for our viewers on 4510 TV. Anything else you'd like to speculate? Returns are good at the moment?
It depends on what you're looking at, but right at the moment, if I was looking for a return, I'd be looking at some form of industrial warehouse through to good quality retail shop. The offices that are commercial offices are not all that great in return because of the demand. There's no demand for the surplus offices that are available. So if you're looking to buy something, you'd be looking for a smaller to medium-sized premises in the industrial warehousing through to a good quality retail shop, very much in demand. Returns around about the 8.5% yield, which is more than double what you're getting as bank interest. So if you put your money into the bank, then obviously it could be less than 4. If you're putting it into a shop like this, you've got something around 8.5 net yield, which is a great return. And even if you were borrowing the money, fixed interest at the moment, it's quite easy to get fixed interest under 5.5% as a fixed term loan. And if you're getting 8.5 as a return, well then you're running at a 3% per annum on the value of the property yield, so net yield. So I think things are pretty good, and you've got the improving yield over time, so capital gain.
Excellent. For our viewers there, if that all sounded like figures and returns and yields, if you don't understand that terminology, I think it's best to contact the professionals. Warwick Peters, Richardson&Wrench Commercial, and also Dan Futcher, part of the Richardson&Wrench team. Dan, would you like to summarise or a call to action?
Yeah, well, just following up with what Warwick said, it's probably about the best place to put your money, I would say, at the moment. You're not going to get returns like that from anything else at the moment, so, and there's stock available.
Yep. And once again, if you're unsure, come and talk to the experts. It's free to have a conversation and talk to these gentlemen at Richardson&Wrench Caboolture Commercial, and the future's looking pretty bright for our growth of Caboolture region.
It is looking very, very sound, very, very good. But come and talk to me. I'm happy to talk to anyone that wants to have some information background on what the industry's doing and where it's going and what sort of yield they can return or what sort of capital gain they can get out of their property. It's all free in terms of advice, and the end result is definitely worth your while.
Okay, spot on.
Thanks, Scotty.
Thank you.